All right, everybody. Peace, 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 and welcome to the Meaning Behind the Rhyme. I'm your host, Keyote, and today, of course, we have my man, my brother from another mother, Khalil D'jamaal. What's up, man?
Peace. I'm happy to be here, man. What's up with you, man?
Hey, man, I'm living the life. I'm happy to be here, just trying to figure out what's behind that line, behind that rhyme.
Indeed.
We got a lot going on, of course, as usual, amphibians based. We want to congratulate you on the new single in terms of the New York City Minute. It's garnering a lot of attention all over, whether it's being the States and other places. You've been a man of many travels and a man of many names. I wanted to get into that with you today. So please give me a little bit of what is the inspiration behind the New York City Minute.
Well, New York City Minute, it was really just being so inspired by, the music that I wanted to create something that, that follows along the same line of the shit that I was listening to. But really it really just reflected where I was at and the living surrounding that I was in, and just, because I was living in Baltimore, but like when I wrote it, I was actually writing it in Brooklyn, so.
Oh, you was in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
What part of Brooklyn, man?
If I could tell you, then I wouldn't be from the Bronx, though. So, what I'm saying? I don't know. I just got off the train where they said, get up, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, you probably know.
I know.
With Joe and Philly live.
Yeah. Train, Beverly Road, Flatbush.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Beverly Road. I remember now.
One stop before you get off the last one.
Yeah. It was just, I just want to always write music that reflected what I was doing and where I was at. And when I opened my eyes, what I saw. And, I was just a reflection of where I was at and what I was seeing, Okay. Yeah.
And then you've been in art and been in hip hop for such a long time, but you've also been involved in art in different phases and in different sort of mediums. So how long have you really been involved in art, and where did that come from?
Well, the art started from a child, because my father's a visual artist and my mother's a writer. So it was just kind of just doing, what was the normal thing at home, but also just wanting to be like your parents, So I was always doing art. And then, I went to art high school, Duke Ellington School of the Arts. That's where I met Slim Cat, RBI, Cool C Brown, Scorpion, Bacon. So that's where I met a lot of us at.
Yeah.
And then, I went to college, at Maryland Institute College of Art, for the visual arts. So, it was always the arts, but as far as the MCing goes, that started like really heavy at like 14 when I hit high school.
Okay.
Okay.
So I like getting the best of both worlds, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Father with one side of the graphics, and then the mom with the writing. And got one kid, put them both together, and then
what I'm saying? It's simple how it went. One boot. So I was just following protocol. I was just doing what I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, and the art was always around me.
Right. So since art was always around you, and if you're based and you have some affinity and some connection with the Bronx, can you speak on that and how it led you to do the video?
Okay, wonderful. Like, that's where I lived at when I did live in New York as a kid, from 1 to 10 pretty much.
Okay.
And that's a lot of where my family is at, was from that neighborhood in the Bronx, was in that building. We lived in different apartments within that building, like aunts would move. It was just, that building was where it was at, and that neighborhood was where it was at. Because actually, the crazy thing, my father was from that building, but my mother was from a couple buildings like 5 blocks away, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that neighborhood was always where it was at. So even when I moved back to New York, crazy, I moved right back to that neighborhood. But what I wasn't thinking about until I was looking at the video again, like the other night, I was like, where I recorded some of my scenes was in front of the first place I performed at. In front of the rec center, like that's connected to the project building. Like, I didn't even notice. I was talking to one of my cousins. I was like, yo, I'm in front of the Centers. I didn't even notice that when he's like, yo, let's do a scene right here. But that was the very first stage I rocked. That's right where I was, right behind me. So it's just beautiful how it all came together.
Yeah, it's cyclical, man. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful that you have that in this video for this album, for the Breathe album. I think this is the best way that somebody could basically just come full circle in a way. You know what I'm saying? Where you first did your first performance, and then to be able to put that in this video at this time with this first album, it's amazing, man. It shows, and I'm hopefully, I know I can say it for myself. I've known you a while. I'm proud of the growth, man. I'm proud of the growth I see you as a person, as an artist. You know what I'm saying? As a man, and that's real. That's that's not for the video. That's real.
Yeah. You already know how we get.
Yeah.
You know,
I want that documented. You know what I'm saying?
No, but thank you for that though. You know what I'm saying? Because it means a lot, and how it moves. It's like, you know, you could write a song so many years ago, and like it could still be. Matter of fact, it might not even have been a part of your life so much as it was then as it is now, this very moment, you know. Yeah, it's more than relevant. How it all works out is so beautiful though, because how this all is moving around is just so beautiful. How pieces are just falling into place. Yeah, and I'm just riding away, following the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Dope, man. Dope, man. So, like I said, we was talking about that, and the video is from what I've seen of the video, it's amazing. I'm really proud of that work that you put in for that. The song itself it's always been solid. You know what I'm saying? It's always been one of the joints that I was like, okay, I'm feeling that, and I'm looking forward to more stuff coming out like that. But I wanted to see and touch base on you as an artist, the development and the growth that I see, not only in the music and then also graphically and then also with the video. How do you feel about that growth? Can you talk a little bit about the growth when, you know, we all have aliases from back in the day, and then you've stepped into your own self in a bit. Can you talk a little bit about leaving behind Haran Gibran and getting to this next level?
Well, it's like I always knew that eventually I would move past that name, and that I just knew that it wouldn't be until the time that I was ready artistically, because, you know, I'm not just a rapper. Like, I don't and I don't want to say just like being an MC isn't a lot, but like, you know, it's on so many things as far as art. Like, I was thinking about, like, how do I sign my paintings? Is it Haran? Is it Gibran? You know, and then it really just boiled down to be like, so how do you want to be remembered? You know, and like, I always wanted to use my name. I mean, but like, you know, and also, you know, with Haran Gibran, like, it's so loaded because of the two people who are connected, are combined, the two writers, the Gil Scott Haran and Khalil Gibran, like, you know. So when I did certain art that didn't reflect that name, like, I would almost feel like, not necessarily ashamed, but I would be like, this doesn't fit that, but it fits me. You know, because like, I was Khalil before I, you know, put on anything else. So, but I just knew eventually it would have to happen, and I was just like, what better moment, what better time than right now? You know, when we reintroduce these things, when we reintroduce this person, this whole sound, just like, you know, because it is Khalil. So, you know, let us be what we are. So, you know,
dude, and I'm impressed by that, and I'm trying to figure out another way to frame this. Like, we see growth, you know, as individuals, and one of the things that I know that I felt personally, I grew by us coming here to Amsterdam, where I am currently, and making those trips and those travels, going across that water into some unknown territory, you know what I'm saying? Thinking we're gonna stay in the greatest hotels, and then we end up going.
Oh, the first one, the Him Hotel, we was like, oh, I still remember that picture when we took the one in front of the one we thought we was gonna be.
I got that thing is burned in my memory for the rest of my life.
I was like, how y'all got like a trailer park jump across the street from the hotel? Like, I don't remember that from the picture, man. We two small brothers. I feel we did our research.
Yo, they got us on that one. They showed us.
They got us.
Like, no, you're staying in the annex. I remember exactly. He said over there. I was like, oh no. Right. Hey, but anyway, beyond that, we did some travels, right? We had at least 2 trips over here. You've been traveling extensively. can you tell us or just expound on your travels and how that influences your art and your music and you as a person?
Yeah, well, like I was saying, the music reflects, my music reflects what I'm seeing, what I'm doing, what I'm seeing. So it allowed me to like expand upon what I was writing on. You know what I mean? Like, I was able to see different places. I was able to hear different kind of music, feel different kind of vibes, and be comfortable making a certain kind of music in a certain vibe. I don't feel like a lot of MCs are even comfortable making a certain kind of music because they're not even around that certain vibe. It's like, but going in all these different places, like I was talking before, like I already had the people who had the awesome boom bap sound, who already had the hip hop sound done. So when I'm in Amsterdam, I don't necessarily want those tracks because I got Slim Cat, I got, Blackberry Jones, I got Trevor Goodchild, and like, and even more MCs and more producers. So I didn't need that. So what I needed was something totally different. What I wanted to do was try something totally different. So when we were in Amsterdam, like the songs that I was rapping over, like those were beats that some of my homies wouldn't even choose to rap on. But I would be like, so when we did The Light, I was like, wow, this beat sounds really, really happy. I'm gonna rap about losing loved ones and death, and and like, and so that creates the vibe for the song The Light, because it was my verse that was laid first, then the other verses were laid in the chorus, because I set the tone. But what I wanted to do, like studying, because I always would study Tupac and be like, yo, you would rap over some of these beautifully happy ass beats, but you would be rapping some shit like about losing people and just like something that was emotionally here, but it was sonically a different kind of groove. But I knew no people who made beats like that here, so I was able to just get with a totally different sound and paint
with a different brush in a way. And I'm telling you right now, like when those songs come out, mark my words. That's all I gotta say. Mark my words.
Yeah,
those songs finally come out, it's gonna be great.
I can't wait. So like, let's say even off this New York City minute, what this does for me is I get to see, like, people say this thing like, oh, I make timeless music, like, but no, but I always wanted to make a timeless kind of music. And now I'm looking at it like, okay, so if this song is resonating right now, man, I got so much more, I got so much more to give because I've done so much more, like, and I feel that the world will accept it in a wonderful way because of sonically what it is and the intention behind it.
Yeah, and it's a time for it too. I mean, it's time for the New York City Minute, in my opinion. It's time for the New York City Minute because I think a lot of people will be not only touched by it, but it resonates with a lot of people. So that's that time, and that introduction that way. Say, hey, this is where we are. This is who I am. This is the New York City Minute. Can you feel it? A lot of people gonna say, yep, I feel it immediately. You know what I mean? It's something. It's nothing about it being catchy. It's just it is, and people go, "Yep." I vibe with that.
It's such a vibe to it. Yeah. Because when I wrote that song, I didn't necessarily know bars. I didn't know any of that. So, and I'm listening to it last night, and like there's a part where like before the last chorus where it's like a whisper before the chorus. I only did that because they dropped the majority of the beat out when they was playing, because it was a jam session that I was rapping to, not a track that was made just the butterfly drag is just jamming. So like I instead of actually knowing the counting bars, I was switching my flow as far as everything just based upon the music. So like, and like as I'm rapping it, I'm like, so one of my friends, he was like, yo, I never heard you rap like this, man. I'm used to the more melodic, more something. I'm like, well, yeah, this is how it used to be. This is what it was. It was just going in there and getting it, and but I just think it's, I don't know, it's really good because it's like in the New York City minute, like things can change so quick, and like, but that's never going to change. You know what I'm saying? Years after this song is whatever, like somebody's still going to talk about how something happened in the New York City minute. That's why we're going to have as many people give us their New York City minute. Give us your New York City story in less than a minute. So we're gonna send that out to everybody.
Yeah,
soon.
we did.
We're gonna need that. You know what I'm saying?
Because
it's 8 million stories.
8 million stories. Shout out to Curtis Blow, my man. Yo, get better, man. Get better. I saw Curtis walking the other day. Shout out to Curtis Blow.
Oh, definitely. Shout out to Curtis Blow.
Get out.
Because Curtis Blow was from a time when like the rappers were superheroes. Like they were like superheroes because also a lot of black people weren't on TV. Okay, at that time. So it's like rappers were superheroes. So Curtis Blow was definitely a superhero. I was like, basketball. I was like, dang, I'm not even good at basketball. But I'm like, man, I feel like I want to at least pass to this.
When my man said Bernard King, I was like, son, can't nobody tell me nothing. I was learning stuff. Curtis Blow.
Curtis Blow. Yeah, Curtis Blow.
If I ruled the world, all that. Anyway, I got to get back to 2 more questions for you, man.
Yeah.
2 more. Outside of the Amphibians project, because I don't want us to run out of time. What are you currently working on? Is there something that we can see that's coming out?
Yeah, well, besides the Amphibians project, and then the next Amphibians project, I got the IKLA project, which is with Asheru and Omar Retinue. You all should know Asheru. You've watched the Boondocks before. You know what I'm saying? So we've worked with Asheru and Omar Retinue. So but we have in a similar matter, we have a treasure chest of songs to start releasing as we start working on new things as well. So I have that project, and also the things that we've been working on in Amsterdam. I want to be releasing that, but I'm thinking more of a summertime for that. But also, working on animation, because if people know, then they know that I'm a visual artist as well. So I'm working on the animation. Those things move slower than these albums, but these are things that are in the pipeline, and also new videos. The video for Run Joe. It's like if you're from DC, then you know what Run Joe is. But it's so important for me because let's say New York City Minute. None of the MCs that we know from DC know anything about Khalil from New York. Nothing about it. So it's like that gets to be a certain kind of introduction. Then to follow up with a Run Joe, it's like I don't know. But it's gonna be great. But it's a lot of stuff working. It's a lot of stuff going. But the thing is, like, as long as we follow what's going on, and when I say we, I mean everybody watching, we follow what this amphibian thing is doing, and we're gonna know what Khalil D'jamaal is doing, because
that's what's up.
All of it's gonna still be associated with the amphibians, because
Definitely that, and the Black Broadway with all of the videos and things of that nature. Black Broadway's a whole nother level, so y'all be on the lookout for that as well.
Pardon me, like there are literally so many things that I forget things. Like I will forget Black Broadway, my whole company. You know what I'm saying? Like I forget to mention that. Yeah, but like let's say all the artistic things that we're doing, like with Black Broadway, like so all artistic things that I do is going to be under that umbrella. But like soon we're going to be taking that umbrella and stretching it bigger, because like there's so many people and so many things that fall under that umbrella, because I wanted to be a champion for the arts, because of my background. Like not only was I an artist, but because we taught at the same school, but I was an art teacher. I taught every single grade. I taught from K to 12, and son, I forget I was a college professor before I was even just a regular teacher.
Hello.
Sorry, I forget these things, like, because I'm always doing whatever the next thing is. I forget. So I was professor. I was a professor before I was a teacher. I come into class, I say I'm the professor. None of the people believe me, because they're all necessarily older than me, because they were adults, right? I'm like, what am I? 20, 22, 23 with my master's degree teaching. I had to go to the office and get the lady to come back and be like, no, this is your teacher. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start wearing button-ups and things like that. It won't even matter. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
now y'all know that I am the teacher.
Right.
I'm the teacher. I'm like, can y'all tell them that I'm the teacher? It took them a while to believe me, but once I started talking, once I started with the knowledge, they understood that, they wanted to listen. Mm-hmm. But I want to create just an umbrella to further push the arts, because there's so much to do with the arts, especially as you move back from being the artist and now you're like the art director and the art teacher. now you can also move the arts, because I also come from Duke Ellington School of the Arts. So I know what it is, what it means to be an art teacher and to teach the arts and to like nurture the voices, because there's something that's so honest about the voices of the youth. As you know, the voices, you know, they change as you get older, you know what I'm saying? But I want to at least foster as many of those as possible, you know? And so, you know, they can move on to adulthood. Maybe, you know, they don't become artists, but now, you know, they got a certain different way of raising their kids because of what they were taught.
And
you know?
Also because they have a different way of expression. So instead of it being locked inside, maybe it's something that can come out on the paper, whether it's through music, whether it's through writing, whether it's them expressing themselves, or just appreciating what they see in everyday life. You know what I mean? And that in itself is a tool and something that can be very, very sort of enriching for everybody that's around. If you see something, whether it's graphically done on a page and you can appreciate it in a different way, or on a wall, or just a song, a sound, it doesn't matter what it is, a dance, whatever it is. If you can appreciate it better, then I think it enriches your life in ways that you didn't really necessarily know before. And I think that's what art is always about, is enriching each other and then also enriching yourself and having that route of expression. And the New York City Minute it's a capsule. To me, that's a time capsule song that they needed to shoot that joint out from the space and let them know what it was like when we were here. You know,
I'm with it. I'm with it. It's just so raw. You know what I'm saying? Because let's say, as I did my music with the people in Amsterdam, as I did music with, you know, Omar Retinue, like these different people who are musicians. So, you know, things moved in a different kind of way. Like, so my flows was just totally different. So, so much of the sound that I had is, you know, was created with Trevor Goodchild. You know what I'm saying? He literally, I mean, the thing about it, he's so awesome and humble. He'd be like, nah, go ahead, son. But like, he really was the Quincy Jones to the whole sound. Like he would first of all, he would make the majority of the beats. He would pick out certain flows. When I was recording, he would be like, well, Khalil, you need to think about what temperature is that word. Is that warm? Is it cool? Well, how are you gonna say it? Are you gonna say it like it's warm? Are you gonna say it like it's cool? Are you gonna is it purple? Well, purple feels different than blue. So I would be putting my visual arts connected with, you know, sonically, and like, but having him being the director just led to all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Led to all of that.
Shout out to Trevor. Wherever you are, shout out to Trevor.
Oh, and I spoke to him the other day too. Yeah, okay. Trevor. You know what I'm saying? We here. You know what I'm saying? We here.
That's dope.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man. Well, thank you for the time, man.
Hold on 1 second.
Yo. What's up?
Computer, stop timer. Trust me, I had my 23-minute timer on, so yeah. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I'm on it.
I hear you.
But yeah,
okay, but now is I want to make sure everybody, please check the Amphibians webpage out, the amphbns.com. You can find more information about the music, the artists, and the merch as well. You can find this and the Fresh Convos. You can find myself. You can find Khalil. You can find all the Amphibians there. All of your merch items, all of your music needs. You can shoot us with questions on email, whatever you need to do. Get in touch with the Amphibians there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Subscribe. We got so much more coming.
Everybody subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can keep up to date with what's coming up.
To keep our interstellar sound earthbound. We underground and give a fuck what you spitting, because your garbage freestyles are clue was pre-written, so we bless those souls with angelic mathematics. While you add on, I'm multiplying it, divide by 3. Subtract the 2 until the only one left is me. Solidify the liquid, break down the gaseous matter. Enrich data, show the talent lacking in these upper rappers. They grab they dick and spit they venom, they morph into actors. So what you see was made for your eyes to embellish, not for your mind to rewind and relish. Divine but hellish, the lies they tell us will unfold. Manuscripts on how they still sell us to. In the New York City Minute, you can get shot, stabbed, the beat, laid down on the street, become one with the concrete. So for now we gotta press on, the beginning of man.